Hello everybody, welcome again to Manifesting with Tarot with me, Mamita, back for our new time slot on Manifestation Mondays, while our energy is still fresh and alive and ready to tackle the week. I thought it'd be a better time slot for us, not only because everybody on the internet usually celebrates Manifestation Mondays, right, with hashtag Manifestation Mondays, how you're doing it for your life, how you're celebrating that energy for your week, but also just because Thursdays are a little bit of a tricky time after the defeat that we usually feel on Wednesdays, the exhaustion throughout the week as well, to try to then have these newly aligned thought processes that get us in gear. So excited about this new time slot, and I wanted to come on live today because we are going to have a solar eclipse, the eclipse that we've been talking about for years. I really feel like we've been waiting for these, like this whole axis with Cancer and Capricorn to be highlighted for a while now, and so it's really excited to kind of finally reach this moment in time and in history to finally to experience what we've been gearing towards for a very long time. So excited to be here in preparation and in celebration of the moment. I will be offering a brand new eclipse reading for you guys, and it's going to be special this week. So it's something that I created just new for this energy, and I've already worked with it, and I really like it. I'm really excited about it. So if you do want to get a special eclipse reading, I know for a lot of people eclipses can be a time of really intense energy. I'm one of those people that is very affected by the eclipse energies, because I'm just really I'm really attracted to the lunar nodes and stuff like that. They're very significant in my chart. They're in very sensitive houses for me. So if you're like me and you kind of need like some extra guidance during that time, or you just want to you just want to treat yourself, that's totally up to you, but I will be offering that. It's a special reading for this week. I believe it's $33, and it's going to be like a 15 to 20 minute reading. And it's really special. It's a reading that I haven't ever done with anybody else before. So it's a different type of reading, different style that I've never really offered before. So super excited about that. So what we'll be doing for this week is working with this new eclipse reading for our community reading, and then I'll go in as usual for the signs, for your weekly guidance on how to manifest and get what you want out of this week with tarot, getting a step closer to things you want and the directions you should be moving into. And so what do we have going on this week other than the solar eclipse? Well, Venus finally enters the conversation in the sign of Cancer on Thursday, right before Mercury stations to go retrograde. Mercury's gonna stop on Friday at 4 degrees, and then it's gonna officially go retrograde, I think, a couple of days after that. It's gonna start moving backwards. But finally, we have Venus entering the conversation, and softening things up for us in the sign of Cancer, getting things a lot easier going for us in the sign of Cancer, which is going to be really exciting, because a lot of people have already been feeling a lot of triggering energy. Mars was already there, making us feel a little agitated. Mercury was there, making us feel a little bit like communicating a little bit like with the emotional word vomit, as they say. We were just getting very touchy for a while. People were getting people were feeling very close, things hitting very close to home. I was noticing it everywhere, especially on the internet with Mercury there as well. So Venus is finally entering the conversation in Cancer, actually giving us a nice relaxing energy or softening energy to all this very heated energy that Cancer doesn't. It's not one of those signs that usually can it can take it, but it's not something that a placement that Cancer enjoys being. So hooray for Cancer for finally getting someone coming through that understands what she's going through, and being a sister there, and softening that energy for her. So let's see what we can do for this week as a community with this new eclipse reading that I have created for us. Where can we start moving our energy towards? And so I have a question for every single card that is pulled in this 6-card reading for the eclipse reading. And so I will read every question for us, and then after, I'll also read it as one whole conversation piece with the cards and see where the energy generally is for us. Cards. Okay, so our first question for us is, what is being awakened? For us, we got the Temperance card, so our balance is being awakened again. This is a really great, because this is these are the two axes that are like traditionally on on the midheaven and the IC, right? Which is our tribe versus our public, our life, our public status in life. These two things are really at odds with our current modern lives right now, and they need to be readdressed. So what is being awakened for us as a collective is this balance that needs to be readdressed between these two really important roles. Our life status is the things that we came here to do, the work that we need to put out into the world, versus our home life, versus our own emotional well-being, versus our family and our tribe and our cultural ties and things like that. So these two things are really being highlighted for us, and we're being asked to put our attention again there, to awaken our senses to the fact that they're not in balance right now. For many of us, we're in a state where we're on overdrive in one area, and it's not even to our benefit. We're not doing the best work that we could be doing up there in the 10th house, right? In our midheaven with Capricorn up there, that we could be doing, because we're at such odds with our home life. We're not home enough. We're not feeling relaxed enough. We're not feeling connected enough. We're not feeling emotionally stable enough anymore. So what's really happening for us is we need to be awakened again to this balance that we need to create for ourselves. This is really cool. What is being put to sleep? Really interesting here. The 6 of Wands. So what is being put to sleep? What is happening here is this culture of win-win-win, of keeping up with the Joneses, of parading around, showing your successes, and that being the only thing that's being important in this world. And it's not. That attitude has got us in a place where we're all very stressed. We're all in a level where we're dying of the stresses, that we're manifesting diseases because of these stressors, because of this attitude of needing to win, of being number one, of showing everybody how amazing we are, how amazing our lives are going, when underneath we are crumbling, when we don't feel like we're even allowed to show people our hurt. This is a card that this is only parading the good stuff and not necessarily letting people in to the fact that we're human, and sometimes that we have our off days, and that things are not always fine and dandy. So we're putting to sleep this attitude of, yay, only me, and look at my life, and blah, 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 that type of attitude. So really cool. How can we be in better alignment with these energies that we're being pushed into? So this is the Page of Pentacles, and this is really about readdressing our foundations, readjusting our attraction to money, readdressing how we go about getting these things. And we're going to need to kind of tap into a better a better way of being with these types of earth type energies, right? This is a readdressing of the earth energies as well. How we deal with our environment, how we deal with our structures, how we deal with our money, how we deal with the structure of Capricorn as well, because this is a pentacle, this is the earth energy here. So we're really to be in better alignment here, we need to start readdressing those things. We need to kind of become a little bit young and start even this is page energy, so this is about youth energy. This is kind of about also listening to the next generation on with these conversations about how the next generation is going to take the world into the future here, because this person doesn't have it all figured out yet, but they do at least have the energy of youth. They have the perspective of youth, of having things be able to have a newer perspective, and not just the old energy that things they know what they're doing because they are so mature and they have seen it all. But with that comes a perspective that is a little bit smaller, because you kind of only then do what you have been tried and true known to do. So with this new energy, it's a new generation, a new thought process coming in our relationship to the earth energies, like money, like our structures, and like the earth as well, which we are definitely at odds with right now. What will influence this change is our next card for the fourth card. So what's influencing this change? This wand energy is coming in, and this is it's the Ace of Wands. So it's this new passion, right? This new creative energy that's going to get us through this change. There needs to be new innovations. There needs to be new technologies. There needs to be new ideas, new type of entrepreneurial type of ideas, new creative ideas coming in to influence this energy. This is just a card that it's the bubbling up of this process, the bubbling up of these the things that we're really passionate about again, right? Because what has been at odds with us is just the work. We haven't been able to really address our actual gifts, our actual 10th house gifts. We've just been in the hustle stage for so long, and then exhausted. So here, this is going to be really more about getting the passion back into the conversation to influence these things, and letting that be the jumping off point that we build our successes off of, and not just about how much we have in our bank account, and if we're not even really doing anything with it that's useful for this earth. If we're just buying the newest product without really like taking money to just invest in ourselves anymore, we're just being bombarded by advertisements of telling us what we need, and we don't need it. We're using our money in a way that we don't need, just to show success that's not really real anymore. So going back to our passions and really having a new conversation ignite from those passions for us. Really cool card that came up for this, I have to say. Which actions or shifts can we create with this next card that came through for us? So another page energy. So this really tells me that the new generation, the young energy, you don't even have to be of the new generation, but to really open ourselves up to new energy. And so the shifts that we can create is the pages of the cups. So now we're talking about up here this Cancer energy, right? The cups are water energy, getting back into our emotional well-being. We had the page come through for the earth, right? But with Capricorn, now this is the shifts that we create, the actions that we can create here, is getting back into creating a world that is open to the emotional conversation, that is not open to just, Capricorn represents the father. And we love our father, but we have been really suppressing the mother energy, the mother goddess energy, the mother earth energy, where this is more about creating a shift that is back into the feminine divine energy as well. The emotional pulse of our lives is very important, and we've been neglecting that for so long. So this is really about getting back to our emotional well-being, our emotional tribes, our cultural tribes, the home life, spending some time at home, spending some time investing in your home, investing in your garden, investing in your earth, things like that, getting back to that emotional well-being for us, which is really cool. And so that's creating conversations again about it, right? Sticking up for those types of energies. Those are the actions that we can really we can do in our day-to-day lives. When we see something, say something, right? Letting that space be provided for people, saying, if you need to cry, I'm here for you. If you need a space at work to take 10 minutes out to sort your emotions before you go into this meeting and do something, or maybe say things later that you might regret because you're just so stressed that you're taking these stressful energies and you're bringing them home. Letting the home be more of a place where you can tap into for the relaxation, so we can start balancing these things out, right? Which was our first card. And ultimately, how do we take care of ourselves is our last card. And a beautiful card came up for that. It's the Wishes Fulfilled card. It is the Nine of Cups. It is about being emotionally fulfilled. So take care of yourself during this eclipse, letting yourself do things that you like. This is part of tapping in to that balancing energy. It's not just work, 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 work. And then no play and no home time and no family time and no connection time and no emotional well-being time. If you're doing that, how will you ever be inspired? How will you ever find the passions to move forward? So this emotional well-being, wishes fulfilled, emotions fulfilled card is going to be how we start with the first thing, and that's taking care of ourselves and making sure that we're doing the things that we like to do, that we're taking care of. So this is a really beautiful reading that came through for us, as a reminder that we can't just worry about only success at the detriment to our emotional well-being down here, at the detriment to our passions being suppressed. We have to get back to what we're passionate about, so that when we do parade things, when we do have this energy coming back through for us, that we're parading a different conversation. We're parading things that we're more in alignment with, that we're showing innovations with these pages coming through about new energy, the next generation who has things to say, and has an important say in this conversation, because we are leaving them this earth, right? So this is really important energy. Ultimately, the two most important cards, the first and the last, is to be in better balance with these energies and to start tapping into the things that make you happy. It starts with your own joy. So really, really cool. I hope you guys liked this eclipse reading. I would love to do one for you. So if you do want a personal reading for this eclipse reading, it's going to be up for a week at a discounted price as well. So go for it. I'm super excited that reading just came through for us. That was really, really cool. So guys, let's tap in now to individually for the signs, what we can do this week for ourselves. What actions we can take this week for ourselves to tap closer in to what we want. Okay, so for Aries, pulling cards for Aries. How best to work with this eclipse energy this week, that is tomorrow. How to use these energies. What can we do this week? What can Aries do this week? Okay, Aries. Okay, so we just had that Six of Wands come through, right? And now we have the Four of Swords as well. So there's this this balance that's also being created here as well for you. So it's fine to celebrate what you have accomplished, but what is also being said for you this week is to step back then. If you've already accomplished something, don't just hustle, 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 pass through it. Then take the time to rest and meditate and get some R&R after you had this success this week. That's going to be your place where you don't like fall over the edge with this really intense energy that can affect us, right? So whatever you accomplished this week, give yourself a pat on the back. You did it. And then don't add more things to your plate. Give yourself then the gift or the reward of then being able to relax, of meditating. Maybe do a yoga class. Maybe you do something for yourself that puts you in a more meditative state. I know for fire signs, just sitting still isn't always like your cup of tea. So maybe getting out there and doing an exercise routine that you love, that you've been pushing to the side because you've been just in this like hustle mode, because you did it this week. You have something to celebrate. Even if it's a small thing that you've just checked off your list this week, you have something that you can celebrate. And so then give yourself the reward after. Always a good reminder for Aries. For Taurus, and Taurus rising, of course. And I forgot to mention that, guys, but obviously, look at the signs that you feel most drawn to, your rising, your sun, or your moon. It's perfectly fine. Some people even say your ruling planet, whatever your ruling planet, or the ruling sign is for you, which is usually your rising, right? So whatever you find is a heavy planet in your chart, you can also look at what sign that is. And so for Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So Taurus, wow, we have some cards reiterated from our reading, our group reading. So we have the Hermit and the Page of Cups. So this is really going to be about getting back, and it's like another card that, just like for Aries, that just came up, that's talking about stepping back this week, stepping away, getting in nature, and revisiting your emotional well-being here. Getting outside of getting outside, but getting outside of your work life, getting outside of your stressful life, and literally getting out in nature. This is so important for you, Taurus, too, because you have such a close connection to nature. And so this Hermit card, which is your kind of like a sister card for you because it does have connotations with Virgo. So really stepping out in nature, getting your mind clear. Maybe you take a walk and you take a journal with you, and you sit down by a tree, under a tree, or you sit down by a lake, or whatever it is that's close to you that you can kind of utilize in your environment to really start addressing your emotions and just kind of tapping into a place where you just take measure of where you're at this week, so that you can have a good jumping off point if anything does stressful occur during this week while this eclipse energy is at its height. Very cool. I love it when the cards just are just in super, super alignment with what our energy is for the week. Okay, for Gemini and Gemini rising. Alright, more page energy. Very cool. So for Gemini, what you have to do this week is readdress your own passions this week, readdress your creative pursuits this week, because there's going to be some type of blending or movement forward with this. This is going to be your gold, so to speak, with this Nine of Pentacles coming through. What you can really do for yourself this week is start you know, if there's any projects that you've been like putting to the side, or anything that you've been really passionate about that you haven't been going after, this is going to be a really good time for you to put your focus and your energy into that. With this Nine of Pentacles, this is a card that really speaks about being financially stable, personally stable, like having just a type of solid ground underneath you. And so getting back to this place where you're balancing your life enough to address your passions again, things that you might have put on the shelf, or giving them a fresh eye while things are about to go into retrograde for you with your own sign, giving a fresh eye to them during this time. You might find that there is a new type of foundation. You might find some gold underneath. If you readdress it this week, you might find some type of thing that you might have missed before. And coming back to it, you might like be like, oh, I got it. I found the thing. The last missing piece in this. I totally see where I can take this now. I see how this can like completely be utilized and be a coherent thing. So really readdressing those things for you. If you have some type of really sparkly idea or something that you wanted to go after, or a trip or things like that, because this is that type of energy too, about going out into the world. If that's something that you really have been wanting to do, address it this week. You might see and come across a solution that you didn't see before. All right, and for Cancer. Alright, Cancer. Nice. Alright, so you got you in your own reading. So we have the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, which is you, right? The Queen of the Water. So this is really about tapping into the flowing energies again. I know for a lot of Cancers, I just hung out at a party yesterday. It was like full of Cancers. There's a lot of built up energy right now. I feel like Cancers have been feeling beaten down left and right, and as a result, you might start like clinging in, and you might start like, you know, creating that shell again, right, around you, that you are blocking everyone out. This is saying, no, it's okay to protect yourself, but what would be better for you this week is just get into the flow of love and of giving energy. This is where you shine, is your nurturing ability. And this person in this card is giving to the poor. He's giving of himself things, and he's not expecting anything back. And that then in return, what he gets is something priceless, which is joy, which is love, which is a sense in himself of pride and the deepest sense that we get, that the emotional human, the place that we want to always resonate back to is love, is nurturing. So this is a place where you shine. So this week, when things are going insane in your own sign, where you need to shine is in that love, and in that giving. You will find that that is what strengthens you emotionally this week, is by tapping into a place where you're back into the flow of things, that you are not creating the blockages that are going to then create the explosion, but you're saying, I accept it all, and I'm going to transmute that into love and giving and nurturing energy. Okay, and for Leo. Oh, we had a card flip out for you, Leo. Put that to the side. Let's get one more for you. Okay. All right, Leo. So you have some choices coming up for you. There is a decision that you are trying to make here. You have choices and choices, and you're not able to really decide which way to go. It looks like you're very confused this week, Leo. There's something, maybe something's offered to you and you're not sure. And maybe this is about that balancing energy. You're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, maybe, but like, you need to work, you need to hustle, but you really need that time for yourself, right? Which is what came up for us with that group reading, that community reading. So for you, what you need really to do here is you need to tap into what actually feels right for you. It's going to be a hard decision when there's that really, that like boss or that structural type of energy knocking down your door being like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and you just don't have it to give. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you can't make the decision, because you know deep down in your heart that you just don't have it right now. You just don't have it. So you need to do what's right for you. You need to do what feels right for you. And you need to trust your intuition this week, trusting in your dreams, things that, any type of messages that are coming through for you. That's what's going to lead you through this week when you're in this confused state, when you do have that type of energy knocking down your door, telling you, and maybe it's just your conscience being like, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. And you just have to tell yourself, look, I can't, not this week. This week I need to run with my heart. I need to run with my emotions this week. And if next week I have to take the consequences for that, then I'll deal with that next week. But I can't even get into next week if I don't do what's right for me this week. So do that, Leo. You set the tone. You are that king energy, and you know how to be humble and loyal to people, and they respect you because of the way that you can be a very noble person. So just be very, show them that side of yourself. Show them that you are a leader and you know how to make these decisions. And if it's something that you need to do that's telling you to step away, you know what's best. You have that leader type energy. And Virgo. Okay, Virgo. So it seems like you're protecting yourself this week. You are trying to guard or hold on to things because you're in a state of protection. And maybe that's because you're feeling the rumblings or what are they called? The aftershocks of some type of traumas, things that you've had to let go recently, or that you are in the process of letting go. And so you're in this protection phase. And I would say with this week, it's okay to give yourself that. If you really do feel like you need to hunker down this week, if you don't feel like you can go out, don't let anyone push you. Let yourself experience that transformation that's going to take place with you just giving the space to kind of protect yourself and to maybe close off and maybe not rush into doing things that you're not necessarily ready to do. It's okay for you this week to just say, hey, I need to address and maybe give myself the time to grieve, or give myself the time to step away this week, so that I can address the things that I just recently had to let go, because we are letting go of things, right? And for the major collective, for us, it was letting go of these things that we were previously really proud of, things that we were trying to parade, that we, like, oh, I got the newest this, or I got the newest that, or I got this great relationship going in, and maybe everything looks great on paper, but it didn't, right? And eventually it just, what was missing was the undercurrent of just having that emotional time, that home time, that time to address. And so you have to say goodbye to it. So giving yourself the time, especially for you who are you're the sister sign to Capricorn, who we're kind of saying goodbye to these structures. These are things that for you is going to be a little bit scary as well. To say, okay, well, I'm tapping into the new world, but this week I just need to protect me and my energy, and that's going to be okay for you. That's okay to say it. Okay, Virgo, Libra. Okay, Libra, so meditation this week is going to be your goal before you start tapping in to going out back into the world and addressing your addressing your finances and the structures, things like that, addressing those types of things. Before you can do that, you need to really make sure you're rested, because it looks like you will be in this mode of looking after the flock, you could say, this week, looking after the home life this week, looking after the foundations, maybe even people at work. This is just really about the foundations, and this person is in a role of having to not necessarily defend, but keeping vigil, you know, things like that. Staying vigilant for the community, staying vigilant even for yourself, whatever it is. If you're on that path of having to provide some type of lookout for yourself, the first thing you really need to do is making sure that you're well rested to even do that. And so taking the time, again, this came up for another sign, I can't remember, I think it was Taurus, right? And which also ruled by Venus, right? Is to really take the time to step away and to have the ability to rest and meditate before you're in that role of kind of like protector, right? Or of nurturer or something like that, you know, in that type of like a guard almost, or something, or a beacon. And before you step into that role where you have to address those types of things for yourself. So give yourself the rest before you do that, Libra. Scorpio. A lot quicker than I usually, and maybe it's because this energy is really coming in quicker, which is really cool when that happens. Okay, more holding back energy for us. So this week, Scorpio, it's about holding back from, you know, don't jump in this week. This is the Hangman card along with the King of Cups, and so you're going to really need to step back before you react this week. And you will be able to do that. You will be able to like keep your cool, keep your calm, keep level-headed this week, but not without effort. And that effort is going to take the stepping back, the holding on. It's not ready to speak your point or to tap into certain emotional places until you've kind of maybe created a journal for yourself, or created some type of structure where you can kind of take the time to address it before you start really tapping deeply into it. And so that strength is going to come, this type of strength, this emotional strength, this emotional and this is also about being strong for other people with the King energy, about being that type of solid rock for other people. You won't be able to do that until you kind of give yourself the space to be like, I need to step back. Let me think before I speak. Let me not just jump into. This is not so much about being like so in an alignment with your emotional energies that you can kind of like jump into it. It's not the Queen who's really a natural placement. The King's placement is a little bit more of that fatherly energy that has to have a little bit more of that logical brain, that structural earth energy underneath all this water. It's kind of like seeing like a boulder in the water, right? That type of like island within the ocean all of a sudden popping up. So to do that, you really need to give yourself the space to step away and hold back. So it's the hold back energy for you this week. Don't give everyone everything this week for you, Scorpio. Okay, Sagittarius. Interesting. Okay. So you're letting go. You have the Tower and the Ten of Pentacles. So it's time to let go of basically the structures. This is both about the foundation here, about having really deep structures. There was something that were not working for you, and they were probably built on lies or built on half-truths, or just not complete honesty about what you wanted and where you're going. And so as a result, you took you know, this piece of wood for your castle, and you took this like crumbling piece of stone because you needed it at the moment, and you just needed to get it built, but it didn't last. And so now you're in a better place to really address the things that you do want, the type of 10 of Pentacles that you do want to build for you and your community, for yourself, for your family. And so that's gonna first taking down, realizing like, okay, this house that I had built, maybe I did the best I could with it when I built it, but now it's time to readdress, because it looks like for you, this eclipse this week will bring some type of feelings of the stressors coming up, and of things kind of crumbling down in a way because of the structures that you built before. But it's going to give you the opportunity to now build it better. So maybe it's not the whole house that comes down, but maybe it's a floor that was built that was obviously done in a space where you just needed whatever materials were available because you're not in the place to wait. You needed to house the family. And so now it's going to be a better time for you to readdress these things and come back and be like, okay, this room that we built was no good. It was crap. We have some extra time, we have some extra finances, we have some extra this or that, or maybe better opinions on even how to build it. Let's rebuild it again. Let's readdress this. And we now have Capricorn. Almost to Pisces. So Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Wow. Page of Cups again, and the Ace of Swords, which these were both in our community reading. So these were going to be highlighted for you. So I would definitely go back after hearing this reading to the community reading and listen to what I said about that, because this is being reiterated for you, Capricorn. So many weeks you've just been getting that work, hustle card, right? About your work life. And so this week we've really been talking about, it's kind of been a spotlight on you as well as Cancer to be like, okay, it's good to work. You are that sign. We're not saying that what you like to do is bad or negative, but this week it's time to now readdress what you love to do and what you're passionate about within that work. So I've been really wondering why you've been getting this card a lot. You've been typically getting the Eight of Pentacles a lot. So that whole work life has been really addressing for you. And now this week it's time to take that type of energy, that hustle type energy that you've been building up, and now lead it into the direction of the things that you really love. It's time to readdress that. You know what you love. You already have been there. You know what you love to do. But now it's time to bring that passion, that fire into it, Capricorn. This is your moment. This is highlighted on you. This is your access with the Cancer and Capricorn, things being really at the focal point for us this year, not only personally, but within our greater environments, in our countries and our governments, things like that. These are really big questions for us on how we can do these things better for ourselves. And you can lead us, because you have that great work ethic, but you lead us by showing us that even Capricorn is going out there doing what they're passionate about. Even Capricorn is going out there doing what they love. Really cool. And Aquarius. Okay, got two court cards. So you have the Knight of Wands, which is about going out into the world, exploring, taking the trips you want, meeting new ideas, getting your whole perspective kind of blown up, and whatever you thought before, now you're learning something new, and the whole it's a card of learning and really going out there and going on some type of crusade or some journey for yourself that really teaches you something new. And what this is going to do for you is give you a better foundation to build off of with this Queen of Pentacles. She's one of my favorite cards. And this is really a card about giving and self-love and growing and fertility and having abundance. And so this is going to be your place of having that type of you could call it success in a way, right? When you have that abundance, when you have all that growth that has come up, and you have the the crop that has come up, you have the fruits of your labor coming up. So going this week and really researching things you want to do, or researching how you're going to move forward with this energy. It's kind of a research card too, because we don't always have the ability to like jump out into our cars and take a trip, or jump on a plane and take a trip. So there's different ways that we could do this in this modern society, where we have these type of ideas available to us on the internet, groups, forums, books. Ideas are going to really be your gold. Even if it's maybe you go out and watch like Travel Channel, whatever it is, it's in that type of vein for you, that type of passion, that creative energy, that learning energy for you, that is really going to then create, you're going to find that you've gotten some type of the fruits of that some type of abundance has been starting to grow up from the ground, some type of ideas, or let's see, ideas that will like kind of sprout out from the ground from this type of learning. So it's kind of first about like learning how to plant that garden this week, and then realizing that you giving yourself that type of fertilizer, you could say, has given you an abundance of growth to really build upon. And last but not least, guys, is Pisces. All right. Really cool readings this week. Really love it when they really all speak in alignment to each other like that. We are, and that's what this eclipse energy is. It's kind of like we're all in it together. Okay, Pisces. So Pisces, you have two major arcana cards. You got two last week as well. So this is really a big spotlight on you as well. Cancer is your sister sign. You probably know one other than maybe, yeah, well definitely get Scorpio can feel as deeply as you guys these types of things. So these two beautiful cards for you is the Fool and the Hanged Man. So this is really about the new journeys that you're going to be creating within holding back. That's not a place that I think Pisces usually is very good at. There's usually that type of like off the cuff emotional energy with Pisces, because they're really in alignment with their intuition, and they don't even think sometimes that the other thing is an option. I remember in my own life even feeling like, where is that place? Like, I don't know what that place. I'm so usually, Pisceans can be so in tune with themselves and their emotions that they don't know the space in between the reaction, which is telling us this week you're really going to need to explore the journey of holding back, of not being reactive, of kind of creating this space this week for you. And this is really important because this is really heavy energy that you could feel that would be that for you, you would be very used to being very active, going right off the cuff, you're so in alignment that you just know exactly what you're gonna say, and sometimes that's not to your benefit. So this week, just holding back it's definitely the new journey about that as well. It's not just about that this is going to be only this week, but this is representing like a whole new journey with that type of behavior for you. And you're going to be able to find that you give much more than what you think you were giving before as a result. So really exploring that. There's going to be times that you're going to, and maybe you're going to find that the times that you're just reactive this week, and then you're going to have to be like, wait, I'm sorry I said that, let me have some time out instead. And then you're going to get used to finding that space better for yourself, rather than rather than what we were doing before. So this is the weekly forecast for you guys with Manifesting with Tarot. These are your specific instructions to go out there from the universe and to manifest the life that you want for your future, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in this week, and I'm so excited to be back next week to see where we are. Once again, if you do want to order that eclipse reading that I did a sample of at the beginning for us for our community reading at the beginning of the video, go for it, astrolata.com/readers/ I think mamita.html. I will put it down in the comment section below so you can find it nice and easy. And let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at mamitasays@gmail.com if you have any questions about it, or simply go to the astrolata.com, find me on there, and go into the feedback area and shoot me a message if you have any questions about it. I'd be happy to answer any questions or concerns you have about the reading, or if you've never gotten a reading before, what you can expect from your reading. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a fabulous week. Enjoy the eclipse. Enjoy Venus coming into the conversation. Don't stress so much. I think the energy reading that we got was a lot about just being calmer, being at home, being more connected. So with that, I say goodbye. Bye, guys.